Delaney, thank you. A Wisconsin jury found Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty on all homicide charges on Friday, and that decision is now sparking nationwide protests, as you can see throughout the weekend. Hundreds in Minneapolis, Minnesota are no stranger to protests, as they've dealt with them over the past year and a half following the death of George Floyd. In Chicago, protests were just as crowded, if not more so, as you can see, and they were also joined by civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson. Everywhere from Tampa, Florida to New York City, even Oakland, California, people took to the streets coast to coast. And all of this is because of Kyle Rittenhouse's actions that killed 2 people and injured another during protests following the murder of Jacob Blake. Protesters say this is just a small step in the push for equal and fair justice for everyone, but they fear minorities may have to take their protection into their own hands.
It's knowing that black kids here in Minnesota never get treated like that. I've received a lot of death threats since 2015 or 16 from people all across the country. So don't want to conceal and carry, but we're getting to a point where it's very important that black people have to protect ourselves.
Rittenhouse claims a crowd pursued him and he fired shots in self-defense when he says he was attacked by some people. We appreciate your company here tonight at 6. I'm McKinley Struther. A devastating series of tornadoes in Kentucky, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Illinois, leaving dozens dead and whole communities tonight unrecognizable. We start in the state of Tennessee, where a woman was seriously hurt. Authorities say her mobile home was picked up and thrown on top of her. This was just outside of Nashville. She was pinned from the waist down, we're told. She is in the hospital tonight in critical conditions. Our thoughts are with her. Our thoughts also with our friends in Arkansas, where a tornado ripped through a nursing home. At least one person is dead there. These are the photos of what remains. The mayor says at least 20 others are hurt, and most had to be pulled free from the wreckage. The Arkansas governor toured the area. He says it's a bit remarkable that there wasn't a greater loss of life. Now to Illinois, where a roof collapsed on an Amazon warehouse, killing at least 2. Just look at how strong the wind still was as they were trying to clean up. You see that as they're moving those cars out from that scene. At least 30 others were hurt from the collapse, and officials say it was caused by either extreme winds or a tornado as well. President Joe Biden says the government is doing whatever they can to help.
This is likely to be one of the largest tornado outbreaks in our history. The federal government will do everything it can possibly do to help.
But out of all the states, none perhaps are as devastated as Kentucky. The governor there saying more than 70 people may have died as a twister touched down for more than 200 miles in that state. But he says the number of deaths could be way more than 100. The damage includes a candle factory derailing a train and destroying a large part of a city of about 10,000 people. One of the residents there shared with the CNN affiliate that everything is gone. Daryl Forges is on the ground tonight for us with an update. That was Daryl Forges reporting. Meanwhile, God's Pit Crew is answering the call to send volunteers and supplies to Kentucky following those devastating tornadoes. They are leaving Monday morning and planning to cut trees, remove debris, and give out emergency supplies. That includes water, food, and Bibles. Meteorologist Delaney Warden joins us now. Delaney, you and I have lived further south, so we're no stranger to the destruction that these storms can cause. But I'll tell you, every time after a storm, when we see those images, it doesn't make it easier to digest. So our thoughts and prayers are with them. Yes. But I understand that same line of storms is what is impacting us here at home. So what can we expect the rest of the evening?
The storms are strongest back towards south side at the moment, which is where we're dealing with the strongest winds as well. Luckily, once that moves out of our region, what we're left with is just this widespread rain behind that front of the line. So let's get a little bit closer look at that. Some very heavy rainfall moving throughout Halifax County that extends up towards Lynchburg. And we are going to continue to not only deal with this heavy rain for the next few hours, but even these gusty winds. We'll get a little bit closer look at your forecast coming up. McKinley.
This is 10 News Virginia Today at 6, working for you.
A blanket of snow covering all 5 zones.
This is why they say you not to come out in the days like this, right?
The storm is over, but it has definitely left our mark on our region.
As cleanup efforts begin, we are working for you with live team coverage across Southwest and Central Virginia with what's being done to keep you safe. Good Monday morning to you, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. I'm Rachel Lucas.
I'm Jenna Zibton. As you can see, the winter storm caused chaos for many. We saw this all over Interstate 81 yesterday. Many cars turned over on their side, hundreds of crashes across the Commonwealth.
And many cars are still stuck this morning. We want to kick off our team coverage this half hour with meteorologist Chris Michaels. Chris, the Highlands saw plenty of snow.
Exactly. Yeah, a little bit of sleet mixed in, but you're right, Rachel. For the most part, it was snow and about 5 to 8 inches of it from Vesuvius to Newcastle. Covington reporting 6 inches. Hot Springs 7. A report out of Buena Vista of as much as 8 inches of snow. But the wind does calm down tomorrow. More sunshine in the Highlands. Temperatures 35 to 40, in the 40s Wednesday. And as that cold front stalls east and we have Arctic air coming in later this week, there's at least the possibility for more snow in the forecast late Friday into Saturday.
Thousands of people are still without power this morning. Look at all those colors. That means power outages are prevalent there. We don't like seeing that. Amherst County, about 1,500 people without power this morning. Henry County, 174, Lynchburg, 753. Those are all Appalachian Power numbers. Central Virginia dealing with a lot of the outage numbers this morning. 10 News reporter Tim Harfman is live in Lynchburg with a look at the conditions.
Good morning, Jenna. We're just outside of the Public Works Complex where crews are working 12-hour shifts. The next crew, we're told, is coming on at 7 o'clock. So again, if you don't have to be out, stay home today. Live today in Lynchburg, Tim Harfman, 10 News, working for you.
The River City's also dealing with the aftermath of the storm this morning. Take a look at this aerial video. You can see the roads, the buildings, everything just covered with a blanket of snow. And that's where we find 10 News reporter Duke Carter working for you live in Danville this morning. And Duke, last night crews were working to restore power to about 24 customers.
Hey, good morning, Rachel. Yeah, the crews were working around the clock to get those 24 people who didn't have power, that power restored so they could enjoy their electronics. And still want to show you all some video at this time. According to city crews with Danville Utility, those crews have been out since 9 o'clock the previous morning to make sure the power could be restored to some 24 customers. Leaders with the utilities say the first power outage was reported around 9:30, and that outage was affecting 18 customers near Piney Forest Road. Now, leaders with Danville Utilities say power and light crews, they were prepared to work 16-hour shifts. In fact, they actually had power crews out of Florida. They're here in Danville to assist in case the power did go out. Take a listen what city leaders had to say.
We're thrilled to have JEA here, especially the number of workers and trucks that they sent to our area. And we're pleased this time that JEA was available to come to Danville and assist us.
I had just woke up, took my phone off the charger, and I hear boom.
Which sucks because I can't play my favorite game, Dragon City, because there's no internet.
Well, luckily, my man does have power back. We checked with Danville Utilities, and they say the power was restored to that area. But again, the main message for drivers, especially if they do have to be out and about on the road this morning, of course, take it slow because the roads may be slick, especially after the weather event from yesterday. But now, though, ladies, we're going to toss it back to you all in studio.
Thanks, Duke. Turning now to the Star City near the airport where they got 7 inches of snow. 10 News reporter Annie Schroeder is in Roanoke tracking conditions this morning.
Now, as we've been telling you all morning, main roads here in Roanoke City are doing okay. This is a look at Colonial Avenue. We're right inside Tower Shopping Center. For the most part, trucks have been doing a really good job of making those main roads here in the city nice and clean. As you can see, they've been plowing the snow all morning, making for this giant mound of snow. If you do have to come here to the shopping center in the next few days, it's going to be hard to miss. I mean, it's really indescribable seeing this giant mountain of snow here in the parking lot. But again, crews are doing a really good job making sure they can do everything that they can so people can get out today. In Roanoke, Annie Schroeder, 10 News, working for you.
A reminder to download the 10 News and weather apps. You can check the radar anytime along with school delays and closures.
Well, the worst of the storm is done, but we still have some high impacts today, mainly because of those slick and icy roads. Some mountain snow going to be possible this morning. This afternoon and evening, the wind is going to be the primary story. And then tonight and Tuesday, the roads still could be slick. Tracking everything you need to know. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Wind, snow, and ice, all things you can expect on the roads today. We'll give you a live look at road conditions in the New River Valley.